So if you would please, we do have some new people in the crowd, so let's listen up. Nick, how about starting us off?
Good morning, Morris.
All right. Yeah.
I'm Deanna Daniel. I'm the owner of Self-Seek Hypnosis, and I have an Airbnb called Highland Harmony House, and I'm a writer of Louisville memoirs.
Wonderful.
Linda Kempinski, I'm the manager of Highland Shelby Park Library inside the Mid-City Mall.
Jeff Myers, I'm a sales agent with Command Digital Realtors, board member and treasurer.
Jack Will, with Jarrett County League of Cities, and we have 4 of the home rule cities. The other end of Baxter Avenue, in Morris and Hill, shops.
Wonderful.
And I'm Mark Thompson, founder of Thompson Investment Advisors.
Officer Brad Sullivan, his division, still in for John today.
Thank you.
I'm Vince O'Neill, and I'm an independent insurance.
I'm totally in out.
Okay, good morning. I'm Adeline Down. I'm currently the president of the neighborhood museum.
Greg Brundage, I'm the Chicago Park Neighborhood Association.
Regarding the Highlands Community Ministries.
Jared Borman, owner of Flanagan's House.
Larry Ruther, immediate past president of Highland Promise, publisher of Highlands Chapter 9, associated with Coffee News.
Now that you're qualified, Elders here at Elder Adventures, Elders in Highlands and other places. The politics stay fitting. Hi, I'm Rose Caple. I'm with Louisville Tourism, and thank you all for inviting me to talk about a couple of afternoon events today.
Anthony Collins, artist and gallery on Ethos Gallery. It's a new gallery in the Highlands next door to Savannah Rooms and CBS, directly catty corner from Bendy Tavern.
I'm Sarah Harlan, the executive director of National Council of Jewish Women, and also we also run the Nearly New Shop, and we're in the city hall.
Thank you. And Aaron Gavan with Gavan Mitchell Realtors. Yay. So Ben is coming today, but he had a meeting he's stuck in at the moment. So we will go with Officer Stellar. Come on up and give us some of the highlights and excitement of life in the Highlands.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, so this was just kind of sprung on me late last night. Unfortunately, John just wasn't feeling very well. So Officer Stellar, been in the 5th Division, a little over 10 years, new to the position of a district resource officer, but I think I have the understanding of the Highlands and how it operates and functions. I can read off stats all day long as far as crime statistics and lock your cars. That's a huge problem that we are commonly seeing is contents from vehicles being stolen. You know, we always just have to remind patrons of businesses, residents to always just secure everything or take everything out of your vehicles. But I really just wanted to come and see if you all had any questions for us. Sir.
Since Afrikaans has gone, has the number of calls dropped?
Significantly. Yes, it has. That was a long time probably coming. It was needed, I would say. Yeah. ABC did a good job on that. Sir?
What do you see as the major issue you're dealing with now in the district? Have been there in the past, loud noise,
I mean, that's a good question. Probably loud noise. Yes, that's, yes.
Are all these things still happening, reducing? What's their experience?
I mean, they're all still happening. Vehicles are just being produced so differently than they were years ago. I mean, a lot of these cars are coming off the factory line and they're almost race cars. And they've got these loud, mufflers, these engines. I mean, they're 0 to 60s and nothing, 4, 5, 6 seconds. And a lot of these kids are just putting their savings into these things, and it's becoming a problem. So as far as how to combat that, I don't know. The city's probably, they're looking into it as far as, impounding vehicles for street racing. That was huge. And that was, helpful for us to immediately be able to impound a vehicle right away. Now, the drifting, spinning around like the circles. I know that they're probably going to look into like putting in the bumps that like we did down at Cox's Park, which has helped. So hopefully those will continue down the road. That would be a good question for Ben Reno-Weber. I know that they're kind of involved in that as well. Contents from vehicles, those are something that we're always seeing. I just looked at the ComStats last night, and those were a lot of the reports that we have been receiving. So, sir.
I heard a rumor that we're gonna start using drones to try to racers on the streets.
Rumors fly quick, don't they? It is true. We, that's probably one of the great things about being in public safety is that we will continue with technology. Whether it works or whether it fails, we're going to find out. Sir.
Need any drone pilots? The homeless problem that we've got in the Highlands, I've just been familiarized with it lately, because I was trying to help some homeless people.
Okay.
And one of the 5th district officers, I guess he's got a wife that does that. And he explained to me that pretty much you can't do that out here in the Highlands like you can downtown and some other areas, just because of the difference in the types of homeless people that are out here. And I don't know whether that's drug related or what, but it was an incident that, brought me to meet this man with that homeless person that I was trying to help.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask, because we are a gallery, but we're also a ministry.
Okay.
And so we're going to be doing a lot of outreach programs, developing programs for the kids and for adults. We're going to have art therapy. We're going to have a lot of programs that, are rooted in our gallery.
Sure.
Homeless is one of the things that we want to try to help out. But I guess, what do you know about the homeless community out here? Because there's been, from what I've found out, just going around the neighbors, there's been quite a bit of problems.
Yes, there has been. It is an issue. It's a tough one to answer because I'm always for outreach. I'm always for assistance. But a lot of times they kind of can take it a little far. They see a place as they may be vulnerable, or like they're going to always give me food, or so I'm always going to be here. So then they congregate to that area, and then it's like, oh my gosh, there's too many homeless people in the area. We don't want this. And it's like, well, you did because you called for it. So I know that there's, I just received a call yesterday, Dundee Road, from a business owner. And he said, I always have a homeless man that is asleep right at the entrance of my business. And he's like, every morning, I think it was like a yoga studio, they can't get in. And he's like, it's becoming a problem. So,
That's my neighbor. So,
yes, so we're doing a trespass waiver.
well, the officer told me that there was something I could go to Fifth District and get. There was a no loitering.
Trespass waiver.
Trespass waiver?
Yep.
Okay. What's that about?
Well, so that gives us, so it's private property.
Okay.
Okay, it gives us the authority to make an arrest when you're not present. Otherwise, we need you to be present to say, yes, I want this person removed from my property. It gets notarized, it gets sent to legal within the city so that they have a copy of it. So that any kind of criminal charges, they're able to pull it and say, yes, we have this on file. The officers are able to make that arrest.
Okay.
So if,
I get that at the Fifth District office or?
sure, I'll give you my business card, and if you want to send me a number or email,
Okay.
I'll send you the form.
Perfect. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Sir.
The other day I had one problem I think that happens a lot is delivery drivers that just pull over the curb on the wrong side. I had one pull over in front of Corelli, they were pointed north on Holmeston, on the left side, the west side of the street. I parked across the street because I wanted to get something in Corelli. I walked in, and as I did, I asked this young lady who, and I said, "You're parked illegal," and she said, "Speak like you were terrorists." I apologize for leaving my plant robes at home, but I said, you know, the problem is if you pull out of here, nobody's going to be expecting it as they come along and you're going to have head-in collision. So, is there anything you can do about stuff like that?
It's tough. So we were just talking about just parking in general in the Highlands. There's no off-street parking. Driveways just really they're rare in the Highlands. Go to New York, places, Chicago. I mean, that's a common practice. The other day I was going down Baxter and there was a delivery truck just right in the road. And I looked around and I'm like, well, what were they supposed to have done? They have to get these products to these businesses. They're probably in and out quick. As far as an actual fix, I don't see that there is one, sir. It's tough.
Ticketable, fine.
It is ticketable, sure, it is, but getting there while they're doing it, they're usually pretty quick. They are, and we want to work with our businesses as well. They need product, and we don't want to be harassing or, so to speak, ticketing them all the time. And they're like, well, we can't get our product. So, yeah, double-edged sword. Sir.
What is the city's policy or your all's policy back to the homeless question? The Ardenland Shopping Center is starting to have a problem that was just mentioned. The people come in the morning to open the shops and there's people that are just laying on the sidewalk. You presume they're homeless, but they don't have any paraphernalia, they don't have any sleeping, but they're just there.
Yeah.
And a number of the owners or patrons are afraid to, you know, see if they're alive, if they're dead or whatever. Is 911 who you call or who?
Non-emergency number for a situation like that. If you don't feel like they are, that maybe they need medical attention or they're not breathing of something, then yes, of course, 911. Yeah.
What happens when 911 comes out? They say they're just sleeping.
It happens. It does. I mean, that's a run that we're familiar with in the mornings that we pretty much anticipate we're going to get those calls. And
they don't transport somewhere for care, or they don't, it's just, they're just sleeping, they just move them.
just wake them up. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Ma'am.
With the homeless at the library, just letting you know, well, we do have a number of the homeless people, so we don't need more, by the way. But, we do have visits periodically to the office of facilities, but with Metro. And they do come out, we've got cars, so like if there's somebody who's there, come and talk to them, find out if they might need services. We actually called, like I had cards, and I called them, and I take them out, and then, I mean, if they want to, they can have somebody to go and talk to them about services. And they don't have, they can talk and speak. So I don't know if that's anything that if you have a business or place where you're having a continual issue with somebody, find out if maybe somebody can find, talk to them. Find something for them. I don't know if that helps.
Now, Ben, he promised me he's here and he'll be speaking next. And I think he may bring up the fact that they have hired in working with the police department a significant number of social work mindset. So the first response in many of this level is not, we're here to arrest, but we're here to assist. So it just all happened, matter of fact, because of some of the funding that Ben was involved with in getting, where I think they went from just that maybe 3 up, are they 12 now, Ben? 9 or 12?
More than 20
20, okay, more than 20, all right. But they would still call which number to get that, that's the part I know that the non-emergency number, do you know it off the top of your head?
5747111.
Okay, all right, everyone together, 5747111. All right. You two can learn today, we are a neighborhood. All right, well, we cannot thank you enough for coming. Yeah. I know it takes time to get information out, but that's why Ben is here today to reintroduce some of the concepts he's promoted and paid for. Ben, come on up. You can do it. And again, part of the rapid response in this community has been because Ben has taken an interest.
Way too much credit for this.
Well, there's
thank you.
always tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I pay my Highland Commerce Guild dues.
Sorry to TV land. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm tall. You have to look straight into my nostrils, not to worry. Oh, I can see Hani on there. Hani, you're looking straight into my nostrils.
That's not what you told me.
So I'm Councilman Ben Reno-Weber, happy and proud to rep this district. As Aaron mentioned, one of the resources for these kinds of things is the deflection program. You can either call the non-emergency number or you can call 911. And if you are in contact with the person, it's somebody that is not, you can't do this while you're driving past, but it is somebody who's sleeping on your front porch. You can say, I'm interested in deflection, and they'll do an assessment and then send often a team that is not police officers, which frees up our police. But that's one of several things that we are doing to address the issue of people who are experiencing street homelessness. We are hoping to open the community of care campus later this summer or early this fall, which will include respite spaces where people will be able to go. And then in the medium term, we're looking to increase the capacity for 23-hour respite care, which is often people just need a space to detox both emotionally and physically. And then there's an opportunity to offer them services. So more definitely coming in that direction soon. Excited for this group. There's going to be some interesting openings, I hope, coming later this summer of additional businesses who will be joining the corridor, which is great. And then for some of the properties that we are hoping to fill, we've gotten some good leads going. So good momentum coming. Really excited to be partnering with you all on that. A lot of other work being done around parking. We're exploring the idea of, in neighborhoods that are interested, having residential parking permits, which will say that only people who live here and their guests can park on these parts of the streets, which will help keep some of the parking more closer towards the commercial corridors. So we're in early stages of conversation around that. That's a long process because we correctly want to engage the neighborhood deeply in that. So stay tuned. We're going to have this is what it would look like, and an opportunity for neighbors who are interested in potentially doing that in their neighborhood to understand what that process is going to look like. Any particular questions that I can address? Oh, all right. Yes, ma'am.
And people don't live in Louisville or in my neighborhood when they come and stay there.
Yes, and
Like that.
they're within a residential parking permit. You can have guests and visitors if you have a licensed Airbnb, and all that kind of specific stuff will get worked through as part of that. So that's what they do in Old Louisville right now. Yes.
Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
I'm about 4 blocks from Athens High School.
Yes, ma'am, Yes, sir.
I'm sure you're aware of the overflow of Athens students parking on Stratmore, Lowell Avenue, wherever they can find a place. Are you all working with that? Is anybody working on that at all, looking ahead at coming through?
So there's lots of conversations happening around that with varying degrees of emotional intensity. I also live right there. So the short answer is public streets are public streets. You can park on public streets. However, there's some conversation around whether within some of the neighborhood deed restrictions, there might be an avenue for saying you can't park on the street. With the deed restrictions, conversations to be had around that. My approach on this is let's be super nice and ask them to park on one side of the street and be good neighbors. That is the approach right now. Education, invitation. I will say, let's not be nasty to the students. Last year, we had a number of neighbors be pretty nasty. My experience of antagonizing high school students, when I have a set piece of property that I'm not moving from and they are very mobile, has not ended well for the set property folks. So I think a strategy of having conversations, being engaging, asking for cooperation is probably the right approach here.
Most neighbors, as you know, are okay with the one side of the street as long as it's the other side.
Yeah. See what you're saying? See what you did there? Right. Well, maybe we'll just say on the sunny side of the street. That's the place we'll ask for.
Well, it seems, the reason I bring it up, I'm almost 5, but it seems to be spreading. I mean, at first it was just like the block or so right across from that. I don't know whether other students have figured it out or what it is, but this last year it seemed to be moving.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a lot of this came around the issues connected to busing, which I think we're going to hear about later.
Abington's also doing huge renovations and they've got a lot of their areas blocked off, so not to provide encouragement, but.
Yeah, but I think that should, my understanding is that going to be completed by the school year when students.
We've been told from all HYR soccer that it will not be completed, and there'll be lots of construction vehicles around Abington. That's like a year-long process.
Oh, man. All right, well, buckle up, folks.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
I might be making that up, but that's.
No, I trust you. I believe you.
Yeah, we have our HYR soccer season
Yeah.
starting, and we're having to utilize some of the parks because not all the spaces at Abington are available. We lease that space from JCPS for HYR. And
Okay.
so, yeah, Abington's, that's part of the infrastructure stuff. They've got a lot of building and improvements happening, but it's gonna take time.
All right, well, I will investigate. So I do know that there are some much broader conversations happening around how JCPS partners with the city. Interesting piece of legalese. JCPS is forbidden by statute from doing anything outside of JCPS's property. So that's where the city steps up and can do some work there. But it's going to have to be a partnership. All right, last one.
I just wanted to say that I have a positive impression of the paving that's happening in District 8, and I've been in this thing long.
Yes, so thank you. Positive for those online. Positive stuff happening with lots of, actually there are, lots of investments in traffic calming measures to reduce, I heard this term for the first time, traffic violence, to reduce our level of traffic violence. So I think there are a lot of things happening. We've got a long queue of applications for speed reduction efforts that we're getting all of the traffic studies done, and we're just going to come up with a total budget, and we've got a rubric that we're going to do for how we're going to prioritize those. So, great. Okay, last one. Real last one.
Is there anything for private ed? Do they teach them?
No idea. No idea. On that note.
All right.
I'm just
Yeah. All right.
I got laying with speed bumps.
All right. Well, Ben will be here for a little bit, so if you think of something, we do network after the meeting. And to acknowledge, we had a couple of people walk in. Is it Jazz? Oh, no, is it Jasmine or Oh, Laura? All right, and you're with? All right, then, okay, they just gave me a different name. That's all right. We're very happy that you're here and greatly appreciate the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. There is a fresh pot of coffee on the back. I know that no one's interested. Speaking of coffee, what came in a little bit. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, sorry for being late. Yes, I got some customers from this group this month, so I will show up. Since I thank you and sharing the information. And I got some focus samplers for Airbnb, whoever wants to try our coffee and partner with us. Currently we are partnering with Global Metro and they carry our coffee for a gift to be coffee city next to the urban city. So that's the thing. So I have three brothers who are drink more coffee or have a business related coffee.
Nick could do the drawing.
Yes.
Yep. And thank you very much for bringing us more excitement.
My name is Saul, and I'm from Abol Coffee. Abol means first cup. Whatever you are drinking, the first cup is to Abol.
And you're located where?
We are located in Highlands in Frankfurt, not far from here. And maybe we will be around here, or may open another location here because the money or the business.
All right. Was someone else came in, has not introduced themselves. All right. You're gonna take. No, we're getting right to it. No, you're next up. You're next up. I'm just trying to remember things along the way. One is that on the tables, the tabletops, those are TARC. And next month, TARC is going to be our guest speaker, talking about the programs and services as they see what's happening. Their budget's been cut in half. So they are going on a very amped up public campaign of getting information. And so each one of the organizational groups, they've asked to let a guest speaker come and explain what they're doing. They've been surveying the area. They've been having task groups meet. And again, it's very intriguing on the level of challenges they are having because of the budget cuts. So come August will be our next guest speaker, but the tabletop and the cards are there to get people thinking. So we got coffee in the back, tabletops, and yes.
Aaron, let me reinforce, Aaron and I are part of a task force of volunteer community leaders. And this is more serious than it sounds because we're basing it on ridership and affordability. And obviously it could affect the Barstown Little Corridor or other corridors. So I would urge you to either go online to take the surveys or try to be here next month because I think they're looking ahead to next year in terms of implementing it.
Yes.
But particularly the further you get away from the old city, when you get out beyond the waters from the Jesus side, it could be cut west. So depending on where you live or who you know where they live, but more importantly, the businesses in this area, the service could be cut back to them.
This is very true. Yes, Ann.
Actually, Tom is gonna come to our neighborhood association next month to do probably up there. It's gonna be here, and it's really education on what's going on.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for helping get the word out because I know that was part of the meeting, was speaking with them about, it's a community effort. It impacts whether you use this bus service or not. It does have an impact. And as you said, it's not only from a social economical level, but just from day to day. A community that doesn't have transportation for the masses does not go very far. And keeping up with a few announcements, I know it's up and coming. One of the things that we do support and enjoy is the National Night Out. Annually, the Highlands Commerce Guild does set up over at Dumanil and participates. So just area awareness. There is a drawing. If people want, from a business point of view, to give any donations for the drawings, we'll be glad to transport those over there for you. And that's on August 6th from 5 to 8. And I know that this is hot on your minds right this minute. Bardstown Road aglow. The reason why I bring it up is a lot of people don't realize the planning efforts that go into something that's going to happen on the first Saturday, December 7th. And we faced many challenges last year, including being pegged against Light Up Louisville. And Ben's been very helpful, and we're trying our best not to repeat that challenge. And we're hopeful through, as Ben puts it, a gentle approach. We let him do the talking. I keep out of it because I know I say too much. But we're trying our best not to have it on December 7th. They want to do it the 6th. They want to do it the 8th. Great. But please let us have our 39th annual event. So please put it down in your calendars.
That's the 39th.
The
39th.
December, that's our 39th annual
39th annual one. Okay.
event, and it's December 7th.
December 7th.
Technically it starts at noon and goes to 10 p.m. Another exciting fact is Nick and I were very fortunate, believe it or not. Trolley DeVille is bringing 2 trolleys running simultaneously to sort of aid in the transportation of the festive level that we are. We're having live music from the multiple levels. We've got 6 groups, but we're trying to get a few more if we can. Again, working through challenges of funding, participation. But we believe, well, another thing that just happened, I mean, this was an eventful month here. Maker Mark is going to be our new sponsor. And so we're looking forward to sort of jumping into overdrive a little bit for our 39th year. So there's a lot of activity happening. And again, we're trying to communicate. All this stuff is just wild because 2 weeks ago, nothing happened. Now here we are. Lots going on. It's good. Well, you're tired of me. And that's okay. But we do, Laura, if you would, please come on up. Here's one of our new businesses in town. And again, bring some excitement to the area.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I'm Laura Cole. I just opened Edge Kids Gym at the corner of Baxter and Lexington, adjacent to Automatic Air. Mr. Reno-Weber was kind enough to join us for a party, and I got to hold the big scissors and cut the ribbon. It was great. It was fun. There was a bouncy house. I don't think he got on the bouncy house, but next time. I am originally from Frankfort, moved around better part of the Southeast for 20 years and just came back to Kentucky during the pandemic, as a lot of people did. And it became very clear that the people who have stayed in this area to live are passionate about it. And for those of us who had small kids, it also became clear that a lot of the amenities are on the outside of town, really around Gene Snyder. And I also learned that it's a whole thing to not drive out there, which I don't do. I refuse to hit Gene Snyder. So what that means is that I have 2 little girls who really wanted to do gymnastics. I refused on principle to drive them out Gene Snyder. And I complained about it long enough and finally got enough soft support from our parents network that I went for it and signed a lease from that owner of Automatic Air. He's the landlord, a wonderful man, Greg Nichols, who owns Automatic Air. If you need HVAC services, I recommend him. And we have a 6,000 square foot old nasty warehouse that we painted and put down mats, and now are having 33 classes a week for recreational gymnastics, ninja for all the little boys who are more inclined to go to a class called ninja than gymnastics, jujitsu, and cheer. Our whole mission is just to give kids a place to move and learn to love to move, learn to love their bodies. We don't do any tryouts, cuts, competition. The only competition that we have is kids competing against how well they did last week with themselves. So it's a bold move right now in this world of, oh, thank you. There we are. Especially with Olympics fever. I don't know if you watched last night. But for most families and most kids, we're not training the next Simone Biles, right? We're training the next good citizen who's healthy and loves to move. So we say we're training for life. And we know that kids don't have enough physical activity. We know that they're not learning to do things like fall. And so what could be a simple collision turns into an injury in other sports. We know that kids need a safe place to take physical risk where there's a mat under them. And we are really, really working hard to evolve, our mission to be more open to kids all around town. So the future, we really want, our goal is to have 500 kids enrolled in classes. We're at around 230 right now. And we just did the math yesterday. It's almost 5,000 hours of movement since we opened 10 weeks ago. So 5,000 less hours of screen time. 5,000 more hours of kids feeling hopefully empowered, challenged, supported, learning how to be resilient in a really small but fun way. We have camps right now. We're in our second week. I have 33 kids over there getting wild, running around, playing games. The theme this week is Edge by the Sea. So they're doing pirate, mermaid, sea animal activities. It's a lot of fun. We are for kids ages 1 through 12. We do have open gym Friday nights and Sunday nights. Pay $5, come run around, get the wiggles out. Tremendous support from the community. And I really think, again, we're only 10 weeks in, but my big takeaway is that the parents I interact with are they're here for the long run, and they want to have young kids in the Highlands. They want to have everything they need right here in this area. Katie Reed at Glowworm has been a huge help in also kind of starting this wave of young families, young kid amenities in the area. Really happy to meet all of you. Love being a new business owner in the Highlands, and we hope to be here for a long time. Thank you.
It's always intriguing every time we turn around, people are bringing some nice new concepts. And again, think about it, preventive maintenance. Where would we be at our age if we were taught preventive maintenance? And in looking at sort of where we are and where we're going, it's the opportunities. And our next speaker is bringing an opportunity. It's Rose Zimmerman Caple, and from Louisville Tourism. And we've been trying many years having guest speakers from the tourism department, but a lot of times people think I'm a local business. Well, get ready for it. You two can win-win. Come on up.
Thank you.
Now that you're exact opposite.
I was
Ben.
just gonna say I'm the exact opposite of Ben, and I've met Ben, and it's very, I'm sure he's got chronic back problems from working with me in the past. So very nice to see you all today. I'm Rose Zimmerman Caple. I'm with Louisville Tourism. I've been with the Tourism Convention and Visitors Bureau since 2011. I started part-time and managed our visitor center and volunteers. That's actually how I know someone in the crowd, Melanie. Hi. And but for the last 2 years, my role has been a tourism sales manager for niche and affinity markets. Those markets do focus heavily on African American, Black, and LGBTQ leisure travelers. So your everyday traveler, which I know we send a lot of those visitors to the Highlands to have an authentic Louisville experience. And of course, what better way to do that than to help support and plan events? So the main topic of why I'm here today and appreciate having the opportunity to do so is to talk about bourbon and Belonging. So not Bourbon and Beyond, the rock, the rock concert in September. This is called Bourbon and Belonging. It is October 2nd through 6th. And it is a multi-jurisdictional event. It is across 8 different destinations in the state of Kentucky. Those destinations, of course, are Louisville, Lexington, Northern Kentucky, Frankfort, Winchester, Kentucky, Paducah, Bullitt County, and Bardstown County. So when you hear the term Bourbon and Belonging, know that it's not just in Louisville, although Louisville does have the most events scheduled at about 27, 28 right now. We are continuing to put events on there. Thanks for popping up the website. Yeah, events are available right now. Tickets are live. You can sign up for their email list, and they don't send very many emails, but when they do, it's got some great information. And I'm just going to run down what's on my information sheet, and I have these sheets as well as stickers with the website on there to leave with you all today. So Bourbon and Belonging, Kentucky's first Queer Bourbon Week, is the first LGBTQ inclusive bourbon festival in the country. It will be the premier event for LGBTQ plus consumers from Kentucky and beyond to enjoy Kentucky bourbon culture in a safe, welcoming, and inviting way. As I mentioned, the dates are October 2nd through 6th, and times will vary based upon each destination's schedule. For example, some places are having several bourbon tastings throughout the day and walking tours, and some are just having large events in the evening. So again, going to the website bourbonandbelonging.com and clicking on the events at top, and it is split by destination, will help you plan your activities. The organizer is Queer Kentucky. They're a Louisville-founded nonprofit, as well as Hospitable Me, whom are a global leader in inclusive hospitality, and they are working with the support of our Kentucky Tourism Department, the Kentucky Distillers Association, and those 8 destinations I mentioned. Why have this event? So Bourbon and Belonging provides a platform for locals and visitors to enjoy our bourbon culture in a safe and inclusive space. This event will touch leisure feeder markets, promote partnership and visibility of queer members and allies in the bourbon industry, and presents a positive, inclusive narrative about Kentuckian LGBTQ life. And again, as someone who travels regionally to promote Louisville tourism, this is a wonderful example of how the whole state of Kentucky is welcoming to all travelers. While this is a focus on the LGBTQ plus part of it, it does include allies, and that's everybody. Other information, this event does have a philanthropic arm of it. There's fundraising opportunities that will benefit Queer Kentucky and other LGBTQ organizations in the area. I'm still working on partnering with Kentuckiana Pride, Louisville Pride Foundation. We participate in all those events. But I spent most of the first 6 months getting these 27, 28 events onto the website. And today is actually my first time getting out in the community to, again, talk and educate and inform our locals what's going on, because this is for locals too. And again, you don't have to pay a big ticket amount to participate. There will be free events, there will be lower priced events, and there's a great variety of activities. And there will be sober spaces for anyone who does not partake in drinking bourbon. So that is the big thing that I've got coming up at the end of the year. And I welcome any questions about the event. That's the big one I really wanted to talk to you all about today. And I was like, here, do we have any questions?
Talk about some of the activities locally.
Sure thing. So locally, we have, it's hard for me to not want to walk around and still be in the thing. So local. Okay. Right there? Okay, good.
It's good.
I'm a walker. So locally, we have an open house at Evan Williams Bourbon Experience. Drew Schrock, he owns Whiskey Row Walking Tours. He's doing walking tours Thursday through that Sunday. There is going to be a pool party at the Marriott Hotel, which is here in the Highlands. Play Louisville's involved. Angels Envy, Old Forester are involved. Our Louisville Visitor Center is involved because our Louisville Visitor Center does actually free bourbon tastings on Fridays. That's pretty new, so y'all might not have heard of that yet. And again, I am still working on some people to get things onto the calendar. There's hopefully going to be a history panel at the Fraser History Museum. And I just reached out to the University of Louisville because October 2nd is when they have their first Pride Resource Fair. So I'm hoping we can bring a little Bourbon and Belonging to that. Fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Now, where do we show up for free samples on Friday?
Free samples on Fridays. I believe it's 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Louisville Visitor Center. We're down at the corner of 4th and Jefferson Streets. We just had newly renovated visitor center, as well as installed a welcome center in the airport. Their bourbon samples are more based on the events coming up, but the downtown Louisville Visitor Center, that's every Friday. Every Friday, as far as I know. We've been working with Bristol. We just had Peerless. And I think, I can't remember who the next bourbon tasting is going to be, but you know what? It's all good bourbon, right?
Where did you say that address was?
What's that?
Where's the visitor center?
Visitor Center, 301 South 4th Street. It's at the corner of 4th and Jefferson Streets. We're next door to the Hyatt Hotel. It doesn't connect. You can't walk inside from the hotel, but you can go around the corner. So you got the convention center, you got 4th Street Live. And it is open every day. So if you and your businesses need visitor guides or maps, or if you have someone staying at your Airbnb and they've got questions, please feel free to lean on us for that. Yes, sir.
That's where you get our coffee. You got Starbucks coffee there?
Yep, we sell travel coffee there. So our visitor center also has local merchandise as well as Louisville branded merchandise. So very happy to represent. I work in our corporate office, but the visitor center is the place that anyone can come in at any time and work with our part-time and full-time staff.
Can you give us a website?
Yes, it's an easy one too. Go to Louisville.com. So GOTO Louisville.com. And I do admit I say Louisville, but if I'm on the phone with visitors, I say Louisville. They recognize it a little bit better. In addition to Bourbon and Belonging, I did bring brochures for our brand new Kentucky Black Trailblazers. This is an augmented reality experience. Louisville has 4 sites. Again, this is across many destinations throughout the state of Kentucky. And you use your phone to scan the information, but just on the website alone is a lot of great information. But say you go to the Muhammad Ali Center, there's a station out there, you scan it, and then performance comes to life on your phone through augmented reality. And then we just had our destination marketing review for 2023. So I brought some of these as well, so you can see where we stand in hotels and business. And again, it's our job to kind of know everything about the city, right?
Absolutely. You got it.
Last but not least, you too can be a part of Bourbon and Belonging. How do you do that? Any way you want. That's the great thing about it being the first year. We just make it up as we go. A lot of the folks I've spoken to, like restaurants and hoteliers, and again, any kind of business, is you can do discounts and deals, featured mocktail or cocktail. Or I've actually been saying do both a mocktail and a cocktail so people have a choice. You can have, goodness, there's a book signing actually at the Hotel Genevieve. So sky's kind of the limit. I know it's very new. So again, I welcome people to call me and, think of ideas. Something I know that my director, Jessica Grace, talked about with the Nulu Business Association was on that Saturday of Bourbon and Belonging. So we're talking about October 5th, maybe having a shopping day. Say, hey, Bourbon and Belonging guests, we're having a shopping day between these blocks. If you say you're with Bourbon and Belonging, you get 10% off or something like that. So it does not have to be a huge lift.
Is a phone call the best way to refer people to?
Yes.
All right, and your phone number is?
My phone number is area code 502-560-0016. If you do not get me, please leave a voicemail because it transcribes the voicemails for me. So I see the information immediately and I know that it's not a spam call.
Thoughts, questions, excitement? I know.
This is one of many events, of course, that's going on in Louisville, but it is the newest one. And October, I'm hoping it's going to be a good month for weather.
And if someone, okay, how would a business owner filter through this to say, okay, Bourbon Beyond has some possibilities, but if you're doing multiple events throughout the year, how do you plug into that?
Oh, that's a great idea. or great question. So again, on our website, go to louisville.com. Top right corner, there are some different toggles, and one of them is our calendar of events. Click on that. Anyone can submit events to the calendar of events. You do not have to be a signed up partner, although we want as many partners as we can because those partners do get additional advertising opportunities, but you do not have to be a member to add your event. You just fill out your information, submit it. It takes about 48 hours. If they need additional information, they will get back to you. But do keep tourism in mind for the events.
Well, I know Amy's gonna add us in for Bardstown or Low for sure.
Oh, gosh, yes. You had a quick question?
Yeah, your phone number is the 480 number. Is that your office line? Is that, can you be reached on that number? It's on Signal Hire. It's got your contact info here.
Should be the 560-0016.
No, that's not what it's got, but I'll write that down.
Okay, yeah, 560-0016. I have been with Louisville Tourism for a while, so I've had a couple of different numbers.
Oh,
But even if you get our switchboard and you ask for me, in our website, go to louisville.com at the bottom does have a contact us page, and I'm under the tourism page.
And what's your name again?
I'm Rose, Rose Zimmerman Caple. But my email is rcaple, RCAPLE @gotolouisville.com.
you have a card?
I do not have physical cards. I have digital cards.
Okay.
But I'll certainly follow up with our organizers today and provide my contact information if you do meeting minute.
Yeah, well, Amy is our go-to girl.
Okay. I can tell. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to share.
I don't know about you, I got Friday on the mind. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be downtown. All right. Well, I know after all this dramatic information, and how you doing, honey? Sorry you weren't here. I had a lot of coffee for you. Made a pot for you. Sorry. So I hope that you're all having a good time. And I know that you're not here because we have a drawing, but Nick, we have a drawing.
Good morning, everyone. Before we get to the drawing, I know you're all very excited about that, but I want to kind of update you a little bit about some restaurants and other businesses that have opened recently in the Highlands. To me, businesses are the heart and soul of the Highlands. It's very important to keep those storefronts occupied with great businesses. So we all benefit from that. So just a couple of updates here. Many of you are familiar with the former Dundee Tavern that has been undergoing renovation now for several months. And they are actually going to have a ribbon cutting this Monday. It's going to be known now as Derby City Pizza. And that will take place this Monday, August 5th at 9:30 a.m. And the Highland Commerce Guild is going to participate in that. Aaron will be there, and we will provide the ribbon and scissors for that event. Another business that has opened recently is called Ms. Aubrey's Crafting. This is a little bit of an unusual business. It's actually an emporium. It's not a retail business where they're actually selling products. It's a space where people who are artists and crafters can come and rent studio space and complete their projects there. So kind of a unique business. It's at 1703 Bardstown Road, which is down in the vicinity of Uptown Cafe, but on the opposite side of the street. Another business that has just recently opened is called Weed It. Louisville, always have to spell that. WHEATED, Weed It, Louisville. Pizza. And actually that Weed It refers to bourbon. You would think it would refer to a pizza crust, but they feature craft bourbons as well as great pizza. So they just opened recently within the last couple of weeks. So in one final one I'd like to mention is Ethos Gallery. Anthony has joined us this morning. I think, Anthony, you have a schedule for October opening, I believe?
Yeah, it's gonna be the 4th week of October.
Okay.
We have an event on the 3rd week of October. It's a festival. Once we return from that, we're done.
Good. And as I mentioned to you, that Gil will be more than happy to participate with you on that event. now getting to the main event, the $25 gift card. It is for Louisville Pastry Shop. They have opened recently as well. I'm not sure if you all have been able to get there yet, but they are right at the corner of Barstown Road and Midland Avenue. A great variety of, they feature true French pastries, so give them a shot. The owner is Charles Reed. He has had many years of baking experience. He had a location downtown for a long time as well, but now is settled in the Highlands. So without further ado, where did Aaron go? There it is. Aaron, would you, I have got everyone's name down here with a corresponding number next to it. And Aaron is going to draw a number and
I'm just gonna shake it up. These are angels.
20 is Deborah. Yeah, 3 of those. Deborah, you get this one. You don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said.
This is the $25.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta keep a copy of it. So sorry. No, it's all right. I didn't talking about it. You had it. I'm gonna be.
Number 4 is Beth Nahinsky. $18 is Anthony with Ethos Gallery.
Oh, 15.
15 is Larry Rother.
Oh. I mean, can't be.
All right. Thank everyone for coming today and have a great week.
Thank you, Mark.